JJ, the CPA is here.
JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe, by the way. So what do we want to talk about right now is the IRS deadline of July 15th. One of the things to note is that on Monday, June 15th, usually there are various due dates that are coming to play. The most popular one would be the second quarter estimated tax payments for 2020. That has been previously extended as well to July 15th. So nothing new there. The reason for the video is to let you know that we're now just basically on 30 days until the July 15th deadline. Of course, that became the new April 15th deadline, and anything that was due basically from April 1st to July 15th with the IRS is now due July 15th. The states, for the most part, I don't know of anything other than Oklahoma, of course, but the states in most part always follow the federal deadline. So I'm assuming if you're here now, they already did. But the one thing to note is that the IRS commissioner, unfortunately, very disappointed, had said that extending the deadline further is not in the cards. So maybe there'll be some outside pressures related to that. Maybe there'll be a reconsideration. I know that I just wrote a letter to the American Institute of CPAs, to their IRS liaison, and then the director of tax, I believe. And they are wonderful advocates for CPAs, which also means they're wonderful advocates for taxpayers. And what I indicated was that we, not only CPAs and EAs and tax pros, need more time to properly prepare returns. Taxpayers need more time to properly prepare returns. So the one thing to note, though, is that it is easy, and a lot of people think, well, just file an extension till October 15th. True. And it is easy, and it's an automatic extension for individuals and for any other returns that are related to any deadlines that were from April 15th through July 15th. You would need to check and see if there's extensions related to that. So in this, I'm just simply talking about partnerships as well as individual returns that were due April 15th. So in essence, it is easy to file an extension. It is literally automatic. And when you do that, though, it only extends your time to file. It never extends your time to pay whatever it is that is estimated to be due for the prior year. So let me say that another way. On July 15th, whatever is expected to be still due in taxes for 2019, because July 15th would then in essence be the new April 15th, which is in essence the last day to be able to pay taxes for the prior year to avoid, in essence, late payment penalties. So as it relates to that, yes, we can file an extension like that, but all that's going to do is give us more time to file. Really, the whole reason you're filing a tax return is why? To figure out what tax you are liable for, and then did you pay it in or did you not? Are you getting money back? And do you owe? And if you do, you need to have it paid by July 15th. Also, what's due July 15th for individuals is the first and second quarter estimated tax payments for 2020. Those need to be hit properly, those numbers, because there are what's called underpayment penalties. So if you're expected to owe, this is just a general rule, more than $1,000 on your individual taxes, then the IRS indicates that you then would be required to pay in your estimated tax payments evenly throughout the year. Those estimated tax payment deadlines are typically April 15th for the year that we're in, June 15th, September 15th, and then January 15th. So those are when you pay in your taxes for the current year. So estimated tax payments for 2020. So that would be for tax year 2020. Those were due April 15th and June 15th. Both are now due July 15th. So we have 3 things due July 15th related to individuals. If you owe any tax for 2019, due July 15th. If you're paying estimated quarterly tax payments to the IRS, what was due April 15th, now due July 15th. What's due June 15th was second quarter 2020 estimated tax payments is due July 15th. So we have a lot of stuff coming due July 15th, but you know what? That's nothing new for 2 of those things, because typically April 15th, we got to figure out what's due for the prior year. We got to figure out what's due for first quarter of the current year that we're in. So it's added a third thing, I'm sure, to maybe the IRS, or to some, it's like, well, I mean, it's no big deal. Well, why don't you sit where I'm sitting, which, by the way, I'm at the ballpark in Kansas City with my son, who's playing in a baseball tournament. He's going to be playing in a little while, so had to get him to the ballpark early. Wanted to give you an update related to the IRS, so here's where I'm at in the back seat of my car. So, but with the IRS, I wrote a letter to the American Institute of CPAs, as I had indicated, and what that letter stated, and they're the ones that are an advocate for us, but I said on behalf of CPAs and tax preparers and taxpayers, you know, given that we had a government shutdown and it was much longer than everybody expected, okay? When it was March 22nd, when the IRS indicated that we would have till July 15th, at that point in time, everyone thought we would be back open mid-April. We kept hearing out of the White House, oh, we'll be open by Easter, we'll be open by Easter, okay? Well, we clearly didn't, okay? So we've been closed, obviously, and then a lot longer. Tax preparers, okay? We've been either, working from home or completely shut down. We've got those that, have they been able to get to their records? Have they been able to get information from third parties? Many things that we prepare are relying on third parties. And yes, the things that had to get out to taxpayers by January 31st, such as W-2s and 1099s, or February 28th, which would be 1099Bs and all that good stuff, yeah, that got out. Okay, but I have clients that they get Schedule K-1s from other businesses. So they own other businesses and they get what's called a Schedule K-1. It's kind of like a 1099. Well, I've gotten some of those, but the offices that are preparing those, I don't have those. I don't have complete information. So for those that are like, well, I mean, people just need to be organized and people need to have their numbers together and they should have, okay, true, okay, but the reality is in any given year, we have till April 15th, and then we've got until, with any extensions, till later in the year because of all these normal circumstances. Point is that all got interrupted. Fourth, we're in a set of circumstances where the IRS is shut down, okay? Or they've been, not completely, but they send people home, okay? There's mail going to the IRS that they haven't even been able to open. And I'm not saying that the IRS is not doing their job. They haven't been able to do it, just like us as taxpayers, as preparers. I mean, are you kidding me? The IRS hasn't even opened what it is that's been mailed to them. What would that be? Well, other tax payments, amended returns, response to IRS letters, amended returns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? They're not even fully open. Now, I understand you can go, well, but it's automated, you're filing it all online, why does somebody have to be at the IRS? Okay, but the IRS isn't even open. The IRS is behind. It seems reasonable that the rest of us can have the excuse that we've been behind. Fifth, what about for taxpayers? What about for tax preparers that we've, people that either had COVID or they're caring for someone with COVID, or they have kiddos at home that they're having to care for? I mean, my goodness, the Families First Coronavirus Tax Act laid out, okay, and this was in March before the CARES Act, that there was an expanded Family Medical Leave Act where the government recognized that people are going to be out and gone just for the sake of taking care of their kiddos. So I understand that there could also be an argument that, well, I mean, the government needs the money. The government needs us to pay in our taxes. But the government has to provide a proper amount of time to do that properly. Okay, so what's the risk here? Well, the risk is penalties. We need to know where we stand, every single one of us, by July 15th, so that if we owe tax for the prior year, we can get it paid. And then second quarter and first quarter 2020, same thing. If those don't get paid properly by July 15th, then you have an issue with underpayment penalties that are assessed later. So at the end of the day, I feel like we, in late February, early March, were saying we need more time. We need more time. And the IRS didn't seem to give any indicator of what it was doing. It seemed like they weren't going to do anything, and then they did. So regardless of politics, the White House is open to September 15th, even December 15th. The White House is open to it. So I hope that there is some outside pressures on the IRS, potentially. The U.S. Treasury Secretary, Munchin, has just been super reasonable and helpful throughout the whole process. So I know we have an IRS commissioner. Of course, the Secretary of U.S. Treasury would be over the commissioner. So I'm hoping that more time will be given. And even if it's just 30 more days, I mean, give us till August 15th, give us till July 31st. I mean, in some states, they just lifted their stay-at-home orders or shelter-in-place orders. And I understand that there's a lot of technology, but there's plenty of firms out there that are reliant on staff and reliant on a team that's all in the same office, or it can't all be done at home. So I understand we have Zoom and we have the internet and we can log in and we have the cloud and we have all that stuff. Well, there's lots of firms that don't have that. Okay? There's lots of firms too, and here's the last reason why, that have been drowned and drenched in PPP. And dealing with that and helping clients keep their businesses open, not to mention all the other aspects that go into when a business is in crisis. So we've been in a crisis mode. So I understand that we got from April 15th to July 15th, which is May, June, July. It's an extra 3 months. It's only 90 days. And, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, it wasn't until a couple weeks ago in my home state of Oklahoma that things were back open, right? And we know restaurants are all the way open, but I know that, probably businesses like CPA practice, and accounting practice, EAs and all that good stuff have been open, right? But that's 6 weeks before this July 15th and getting caught up, not to mention also waiting on additional information. So anyways, an update to say, I guess we better get after it. Really, gosh darn, just so infuriating that we're not getting more time. And I'm usually the one that is saying, hey, let's get stuff done. Let's get after it. We'll meet the deadlines. I've never missed a deadline. I'm not a one that believes in a bunch of excuses in any circumstances. So these aren't excuses. Okay, this is just reality. Here's what's going on. And boy, I'm a defender of the IRS usually. I'm usually the one that says, well, they got a job to do, and the IRS are just people too, and their parents, and the IRS is, all they're doing is executing the laws that are placed in the laws that we're having to deal with. But just so unfair. So probably should have ended the video. All I'm saying is I'm upset about it. I'm just upset about it because I'm not the only one. I'm hearing it everywhere. So I hope the AICPA can really advocate hard for us. If you know anybody that you can talk to, politicians, the senators, the congressmen. So I'm going to I'm going to get hold of my own and, let them know, here's the deal. So if the IRS won't do it, then someone needs to make them. Someone needs to make them. They're not even open themselves. All right, hey, listen, a couple of things. One, I appreciate you. Two, please subscribe. Gosh, if you made it to here, you're awesome, and I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. Probably if you made it to here, you're feeling my pain. The other aspect of all this is that I wanted to let you know, Amanda and I are going to be traveling in mid-July to talk with 6 different businesses. Not talk with helping, that we're currently helping with their numbers. These are businesses that were successful, are successful, but slammed down to the pavement, face grounded into it like everybody else because of COVID. And I've been helping them for free to various degrees of just talking through what's going on, how to come out of it, ideas how to recover, ideas how to change pricing, ideas on accounting and coming up with a plan with PPP money or using PPP money, expanding the business once they reopen, uses of EIDL, other kind of tragic situations that are coming out of COVID related to this, and landlords not interacting properly, and looking at numbers in a different way, going through QuickBooks, logging into QuickBooks. I'm just letting you know I've been, and you may go like, well, so, but, I think I've collectively with this group, I've probably put in over, probably 60 hours. And all I'm saying is that, it's not just a phone call and an email. I'm really trying to help these people and these businesses. And so we'll be going to California, to Washington, to Massachusetts, to New York, to Florida, and Colorado, and meeting with these clients. So I've been doing stuff with them. And all I'm saying is pay attention to what we're getting ready to do. We're going to have videos coming out about it. We have a reality series. Maybe we need to change the name of it. We don't seem to have a lot of people viewing it. Maybe we just need to change the name of it. So we're going to have a link into it. We'll also have a link. We're selling t-shirts, and the primary purpose of Amanda and I selling t-shirts is we're just trying to, quite frankly, get a few bucks, raised to help defray the travel costs that we're going to have. And, we're selling t-shirts, and we net $10 after shipping and the make of it. And so we made 100 shirts, and maybe that'll raise $1,000 with us. You may not care about that. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to help other businesses, and it might be a way that you're able to help us help those businesses retrieve. Also, we have started a foundation, thanks to Tony, the godfather of it all, out of Florida, and it's called b4bcares.org. Zero money goes to me. Zero. Okay, it's not paying for travel. It's not paying for anything related to me in any way, shape, or form. But go to b4bcares.org, which will have a link in the body here as well, and you'll learn about this wonderful foundation that's put together. We've got a number of people involved with it. We've raised a wonderful amount of money, and the whole purpose of it is there are businesses that have fallen through the cracks. Okay, we're dealing with one right now. They don't qualify for PPP. They don't qualify for EIDL. They're not even getting the PUA. Okay, they're falling through the cracks. And then you have a landlord that's not working with them. And then 2.5 inches of rain, and now their business has been flooded, and the landlord is saying, it's an act of God, and what do you want us to do? And then their insurance company is saying, well, we don't cover flooding. So that might be an area where B4B Cares can come in and not just provide money, and let me tell you how we do that in a second, but, we're looking at getting a lawyer involved with that. We're looking at maybe getting Tony with his, his street knowledge and background in business and Wall Street and New York and that kind of thing from a business perspective, and me as a CPA, helping in that regard too. Doesn't all have to be the monetary. So if there's any way you can help with that, you can let us know when you go to b4bcares.org. There's a spot in the place, your information and maybe how you can help around the country, what you can do. And then if we do give monetarily, we're going to not give it to the business. We'll give it to the third party that's doing something for the business, directly. And then it'll be a hand up, not a handout. Businesses don't need handouts, but it'd be a hand up, which means that if the business is able at a later date to, in essence, donate that same amount of money that they got back to B4B Cares, then it can be used to help another business in the future. So that if you do give to B4B Cares, it's in a hope that it's perpetually helping businesses. And we know we have this crisis. B4B Cares can continue even after this crisis to help with other crises. And again, it's for businesses that have fallen through the cracks. So at the end of the day, when you're watching other YouTube channels, make sure it's a CPA. Make sure it's maybe a certified financial advisor. Make sure that it's somebody that has some qualifications, they have some experience. I'm not knocking other YouTube channels. All I'm saying is that I'm a certified public accountant. I work with thousands of businesses. I'm a practicing CPA. I'm providing information based on my actual experience, actual involvement, actual expertise. But then I think, different. And why I think it would be fun for you to continue to tune in, and I'm sure there's probably no one listening at this point other than our wonderful YouTube family. But it'd be wonderful if you spread the word about what we're doing here with b4bcares.org. Spread the word. I mean, honestly, just having people watch our videos means a lot to us. And yes, I'm monetized, but I've been using all of those funds to offset what we're getting ready to do for travel, also putting money into B4B Cares. I haven't received a dime of it to date. With that being said, we're different than other YouTube channels that I know of. Okay, we're not just here entertaining and only providing information for you at no charge to you, other than maybe you have to watch a video or an advertisement for 5 to 10 seconds, which I appreciate you doing. But we're different. So spread the word. I know you are, but spread the word. Share my videos. Maybe not this one, but others that come along. So, all right, hey, I got to get over to my son's game. Really appreciate you listening. Per usual, I thought it'd be a quick update, but always feel like I've got lots to say, I guess. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Again, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, and then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. All right, hey, have a great day, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. And if you made it to here, I love you.
Yeah. JJ, the CPA is here.
JJ, the CPA, has been serving thousands of businesses for the last 27 years. He is also a national speaker teaching CPAs across the U.S. about the latest tax laws, as well as an author and now what many call a YouTuber. Through this COVID era, JJ became a voice of calm during the pandemic, guiding countless businesses, self-employed individuals, and fellow tax pros through the PPP maze. Now, JJ is taking his know-how to help businesses that have asked for his help to rebound out of this mess that no one saw coming. He is doing this out of his own pocket, not for a fee, and to simply show the American business owner that they are not alone. JJ, America's CPA, is here to help save the entrepreneurial spirit, one business at a time.